Hello everyone, this is Conin's channel. Today I have a very special guest all the way from Hong Kong. If you guys don't remember, I filmed a video with my friend Charlie back when I used to live in Hong Kong. It's been a hot minute. I've been keeping in touch with him ever since we've graduated, and I just want to ask him how he's doing, what it's like in Hong Kong right now, and share that with you guys because I'm sure the viewers are also curious. So today I'm just gonna call him, see how he's doing in Hong Kong, and also hear some pros and cons about living in Hong Kong as a Hong Konger. That's what they call themselves, Hong Konger, when they're born and raised in Hong Kong. And I think it's really interesting to hear a perspective from a foreigner who has been living in Hong Kong for their entire life. Okay, let's see if he'll pick up.
Hey.
Hey! How are you doing in Hong Kong all the way there?
I'm good. Hong Kong's pretty nice right now.
Are you stuck at home?
No, there's like no restrictions at the moment actually. I was just like out in the city for lunch yesterday and we had like 5 people at our table, four people at our table.
So 4 people is the limit?
Yeah, 4 people is the limit.
Are there frequent cases? Is it getting better?
I don't think there's that many frequent cases. I think around like 10 per day, but I'm not 100% sure. But like I don't pay attention that much to it just because like it's not too important. I mean, at least in Hong Kong, because it's not like that dangerous at the moment.
Are you studying right now?
I'm in UBC right now, but because of online classes, I decided to take a gap year and stay in Hong Kong. And then just work while I'm here instead of study.
Oh, that's cool. What kind of work do you do?
Right now I'm interning at an education company, and then I'm basically in charge of like the content. So I run their YouTube channel and help make some promos for like the marketing photos and videos for like Instagram and YouTube and sometimes Facebook too. So basically just like marketing, yeah.
I forgot to tell everyone, we do like film stuff, so we connect on several topics like cinematography and marketing as well, because I used to do marketing, videos, film production stuff. So yeah, that's why we've been talking. So since you've been living in Hong Kong your entire life, I'm sure you're like used to it, like how I'm used to Singapore right now. And I just wanted to ask you some pros and cons about living in Hong Kong from your perspective, because I also uploaded a video on, it wasn't a huge like hate video, but it was just an honest opinion on why I thought Hong Kong was not the best place for me. But I also want to keep open-minded. I just wanted to hear your opinion. So maybe we can start off with some pros of living in Hong Kong. Yeah.
I live like on the outskirts of Hong Kong, so I get the best of both worlds where I have like the nature and like the hiking and all that aspect, like with the oceans, but then I also have like really close access to the city. Like it's only about 45 minutes to an hour to get into the city, so I really like having like the hustle and bustle of the city, and then also like escape to the countryside. Another thing that I really like is the food, dim sum, hot pot. I've been having a lot of that, especially like in the winter season. There's a lot of hot pot. It's not only Chinese food, but there's like a whole bunch of really good restaurants around Hong Kong. You can have like pretty much any cuisine that you want.
Would you say your palate is like totally local? Because I know some foreigners who live in Hong Kong, or like not just Hong Kong, but in Southeast Asian countries, they're like, nope, I'm gonna stick to my diet, my kind of food, my kind of cuisine.
I'd say like I kind of like to mix it up a bit. Definitely at home we eat more like Western or like Italian food, just because my mom is Italian. I do like to go out to have like the local Chinese food. Another thing that I like about Hong Kong is just like the overall vibe, especially in the city around like Shenzhen or like Central, kind of like a mixture between old and new. They kind of built like new things into old buildings and just kind of makes like a really cool dynamic, because I do like photography and videography, as Colin said, and like street photography is always really interesting.
Definitely a photogenic country. The concrete jungle is always like inspiring artists in games, in other media.
Like there's always something new when you go out as well. Like you always discover something cool.
That's for sure. I think I would have appreciated more if I had time to like discover and do street photography, because that was towards the end of my Hong Kong life when I finished my IB exams and when I actually had the time to like go out and explore. So that's a really good point.
Another thing that I really like about Hong Kong is like the opportunities. Like I mentioned before, I'm taking a gap year right now, and there was just like a whole bunch of opportunities for me to do work. I really like videography and photography, So luckily I was able to find a job, and I've been working in this job for like 7 or 8 months now. I'm very grateful for it. I think that's like a lot down to Hong Kong and like people giving chances to people like me who are just starting out.
That's
and
amazing.
Lastly,
We're all like hearts in our eyes when we get to work in the industry, because that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the last thing was really quick access to other countries. So maybe like 300 Hong Kong dollars to 400 Hong Kong dollars, fly to like Thailand and have like a short staycation there.
Staycation?
Fly to sea, or not staycation.
Staycation. Oh my gosh.
I mostly went to Thailand just because that was usually the easiest to get to and the cheapest. Like when I had time.
How is it from Italy to Hong Kong?
I think it's like 13 hours.
That's cool. I've always wanted to go to Italy.
Yeah. It's really nice just to like visit our family.
That was about it for the pros of living in Hong Kong. Now the cons of living in Hong Kong. Keep in mind, these are all just opinions, not facts, and it's just from our perspective.
I usually go out to try and get lunch. Recently I've been trying to eat more healthy. 2021, like trying to get in shape. Trying to find some healthy food. It's usually gonna cost you like $70 to $120, which is quite expensive if you're doing that every day. I used to just try to get like the local chao siu fan. They're delicious, but they're usually quite oily and I think not the best for you. So if you're gonna eat healthy, it's sometimes quite expensive.
Because here we have hawker centers, but are they also food court style?
I forgot what they're actually called, but it's kind of like a food court, and like most of the districts in Hong Kong have their own like food center.
I remember Hong Kong had one of the best street food, egg waffle place. You know, in front of Times Square,
yeah.
there's
I
the
love
huge
egg
like
waffles.
cross section, the egg waffle there, and then also the shumai.
Yeah,
it's like $20 per stick, and they like stab everything in a stick and they just give it to you, and people are eating on the sidewalk. Yeah, you tend to get unhealthy things, which is I guess the same for Singapore when everything good and cheap is unhealthy.
Yeah,
that's how life goes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, another thing that I don't like about Hong Kong is the traffic. Probably takes me like 45 minutes to get into the city, but if I leave at the wrong time and I go during like rush hour, it could probably take like an hour and a half, like the time could double. So the traffic can get pretty bad if you're unlucky or if you don't go at the right time. Don't go out in Hong Kong during rush hour. It's not recommended.
It's jam-packed where you have to line up for the train and you have to wait for the train to pass like 3-4 times. So after school I try not to stay late, but yeah, it's crazy around downtown.
Yeah, it takes forever. Another problem about, or like another con about Hong Kong is the weather. At the moment, the weather's really nice because it's like getting to the end of winter when it's in the summer and it's like 35 degrees and it's super humid. Like anytime you walk outside, pretty much you start to sweat. If you're going from like work to lunch and back to work, you're gonna be like completely sweaty by the time you get back to work.
I appreciated how Hong Kong had seasons, unlike Singapore, but their summer is so damn hot compared to here. And I think one of the reasons why, I'm not an expert, I don't know, but I think it's because the concrete jungle is just like a massive heat machine and there's no greenery in this city area, unlike Singapore where there's like greenery here and there, so there's no like cool down effect, and I think that's really catastrophic.
The last con about Hong Kong is the income inequality. So it's kind of like something that I didn't know for a long time, and I kind of just recently found out. I saw a statistic the other day that 20% of the population in Hong Kong is under poverty. So I think it's kind of like something that not enough people are talking about. I don't know, it just seems like something that's quite a big deal that's not being made into a big deal.
I think when people think of Southeast Asia, it's crazy rich. Yeah, sometimes I see homeless people on the bridges in tents. I think I saw them in person and I also saw some in the news, so that's interesting that you brought it up. I think no one really thinks about that first thing when they think of Hong Kong. Would you move somewhere else, consider living in Italy or like any other places?
Planning to move in summer to Vancouver just because I want to like get fully into university because I've been living in Hong Kong my whole life, so if you change things up a bit, it can't hurt. Super excited to move to Vancouver.
Oh, that's nice. Because some people, when they leave their long time home, it's like not always a positive thing. Like for me, I was scared, I was worried, but to see you optimistic about it, that's great.
Oh, I'm definitely nervous about it, but I'm just super excited as well.
Have you had any culture shock, I guess, in Vancouver?
Everything was a lot slower in Vancouver. People were really like chilled out. Whereas like in Hong Kong, if you're going from like A to B, you're gonna like rush from A
Oh,
to B.
yeah. I think that's a big Chinese culture thing. Everyone's just like 快点快点.
Yeah,
Hurry up,
exactly.
hurry up. Okay, so that was Charlie giving us some pros and cons about living in Hong Kong. I found some quite interesting, like the poverty one. I didn't really think of that one. And the food is actually common with Singapore. If I could, I guess I would go back and do some exploring and street photography like he mentioned, because there are a lot of places I haven't discovered yet. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and opinions and everything.
Thanks for having me.
I'm also going to be on his channel, so you can check it up.
You don't really have to be into videography and photography. It's still kind of interesting, I think. I hope. I'm going to be trying to post every week for this year and then see what happens from there. So yeah, there'll be a lot of content on there.
Really beautiful and cinematic, so you guys should definitely check it out.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe and like my video as well. See you next one. Bye.